Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Grace. Today we've got a beginner-friendly mat class. We're gonna stick to pretty much the beginning of the classical repertoire. You don't need any equipment, just yourself and somewhere to move today. And we're gonna start standing. So make your way to the back end of your mat. And before beginning a Pilates class, I like to find my center line because Pilates is about building space in the body. So before we build space, we kind of have to know where we're bringing it. So I want you to bring your mind's eye down to the bottoms of your feet. You're finding your foot centers. There's 3 in each foot. There's 1 at the base of your big toe, in between the 4th and the 5th, and at the center of your heel. So once you find them, that little tripod base, take a deep breath to anchor down. And then you're feeling your midline, so between the ankles, the knees, and the upper inner thighs, drawing that line all the way out through the crown of the head. Take another deep breath here. Good. On your next inhale, your toes and your shoulders will lift. And then exhale as you lower everything down. We'll do that again. Lift the toes and shoulders and glide them down. We'll do that 2 more times. Up and press. Last time, lift and lower all the way down. Inhale, take a plie, little bend at the knees, and then lift everything up, lengthen. We'll do that again. Bend and lengthen for 2. 1 more time, hold it here. Reach the arms up. Press them down and reach up again. Big circles out and down for 2. Keep the sternum lifted 1 more time. Hands to chest height, lift everything up and contract to roll all the way down into a forward fold. Nice and easy. Once you're there, a very gentle pulse of the spine down for 6, 5, 4, using the belly to make that pulse happen. Last 2. Stay down in your forward fold. Take a bend at the knees and straighten them back out. Again, little bend and straighten for 2. 1 more time, legs go straight, and then walk yourself out into a downward dog or an up stretch. So your fingertips are spread wide, hips are high, lift your heels up, and then press them down. We'll do that for 3. Inhale, lift, and press for 2. 1 more. Lower the heels, lift up to stay, and lower the knees all the way down onto your mat. You're in your quadruped or tabletop position here. So you've got a long, strong spine. We're gathering the ribs and abs. Hold on to that. Using your cat-cow, we lift the belly up, reach the sit bones for your knees, lengthen out to a long spine. We'll come to the inverse, look up, a little arch in the back, exhale to long spine, and again, round the spine up, lengthen, look up, and lengthen. Beautiful. Sit yourself back on your heels. You'll sit off to one side so that you can come onto your bum. Feet are planted, arms are reaching out in front of you. Inhale, lift the spine up a little higher. Exhale, little mini roll back, and then take yourself all the way down, landing softly. Bring your heels just a little bit closer towards you so that they're right underneath the knees or so. About hip-width distance apart. Reach your hands up for the ceiling. Palms will face forward. Exhale, curl yourself forward. Inhale, lower and lengthen. We'll do that again. Exhale, curl up. And lower back down. Starting to build some warmth in the abdominals. The next time you curl forward, hold it. Right leg comes up to tabletop. The left leg will follow. Glue your legs together here. We're coming into a modified 100, so legs will stay right here the whole time. You're gonna pump the arms up and down just a few inches, and the breath is inhale, exhale. You keep the sync of the low belly. contracting the upper abdominals together for 3, 2, 1. Pause here, extend the legs straight up for the ceiling. We'll do that with legs extended. Inhale, exhale. You always have the option to lower the head down onto the mat. For 3, 2, last time. Bend the knees to tabletop, lower the feet, lift the hands, and lower all the way down onto your back. Extend the legs long out on the mat in front of you. We're coming into roll up. So your legs are pressed together. You're flexing your feet and lifting your hands up to the ceiling. Curl yourself into the frame of your arms and then take that all the way up over your legs. Once you get there, pulse forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause here. You point the feet. Roll yourself out. You go to the back of the sit bones, the base of the pelvis, the low back, mid back, and then you're all the way back to your start. We'll do that again. Lift the hands, flex the feet. Curl forward. Take that roll up all the way over for 4 pulses. Last 2. 1. Point the feet and then roll it out. Bone by bone, you're all the way back down. Final 2 here, lift and flex. Your exhale takes you up over. If you hold your breath, it becomes so much harder, I promise. You're just here for 2 more pulses, and then point the feet. So your toes are reaching out in opposition as you roll yourself back down. I think we've got 1 more time here, lift and flex. Curl up, pulse forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the feet as slow as you can go. Hollow the belly. 1 bone at a time. You lay yourself all the way down. Keep your legs right where they are. Lift your hands up and then press them down by your sides. So you've got nice broad chest. Collarbones are pulling wide. You're bending your right foot to passe. So knee bends, toes to the opposite, the left knee. Extend the foot up to the ceiling and then lower the leg all the way down to the start. We'll go other side. We point to passe. Point, extend, and lower. We'll do that 1 more time each side. Holding the pelvis steady. Lower all the way down. Good. Take that passe up to the ceiling. Hold your right leg up. Toes are pointed. We're coming into single leg circles. So your right foot crosses over your midline, down, around in a circle. We'll do that again. Over, down, around, and up. As you draw your circle, I'm gonna say like the size of a basketball is usually a good place to start here. We'll do 2 more in this direction. 1 more time, and reverse your circle. And it's less about how big you can get, more about how well you can maintain the stability of your pelvis here. So really trying to anchor down through both sides. 2 more times. Last time here, pause at the top. A long right leg lowers all the way down. We'll go on to the left, point to passe. Point, extend, hold it here. Circles over the midline, around and up. So really trying to bring that awareness into the femur here, into the hip socket. We'll go for 2. 1 more. Reverse your circle. You're reaching long out of the toes. And not really even about how fast you're going. If you can make it more about control, feeling every moment of that circle. Last 2. 1 more. And a long left leg lowers all the way down. Legs are glued together. Flex your feet, lift your hands up for the ceiling. Curl forward. You're using your roll up just as we did before to come over the legs. Pulse forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way up and come hands down by your sides. Scoot yourself closer to your heels because we're coming into rolling like a ball. So Feet are together, knees are apart. So almost in like a shortened diamond position, you wrap your arms around the outside of your thighs. So your arms wrap around, your knees push outwards. That's that oppositional action. So why don't you just hold that and feel that press against and the push inward, and then release everything. Do that again. Press and push and release. As you do that, try to hollow the belly away from the tops of the thighs. We'll do it twice more. Press and release. Good. Press and release. Next part of the puzzle, hover your feet off of the floor. So you're balancing between the sit bones and the tailbone, almost like a little tripod base that you're resting in the center of. Let's practice that same press and push again. So activate that tight ball shape and release. Again, press and push, release. Last 2 times. Good. On this last one, hold that pressure. Bring your focus down to your pelvis so you really are embracing the shape of rolling like a ball right now. On your inhale, roll back to the tips of the shoulder blades. Exhale, can you bring that ball shape back up? Inhale, roll back and up. Don't lose your energy around the outside of your circle. Goal here is to try not to let the feet touch and find that suspension moment at the top. Last time, hold your balance at the top, don't lose it. You're bringing your hands onto your right shin. Extend the left leg and roll yourself all the way back into your upper contraction. When you're ready, you switch sides and pull and switch and switch. So upper body's steady. Even though one leg is moving away from you, we'll go 2 more times each side. Elbows wide. Beautiful. Both knees into your chest. Double leg stretch. Your arms and your legs reach out, and then you sweep them wide to pull in. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to pull. We'll go for 3. You always have the option to lower your head. One last time, reach, and then wrap your contraction in. Rock and roll yourself up to seated. Scoot yourself back a little bit so that you can extend your legs out onto your mat in spine stretch position. So feet are flexed, toes pull back towards the hips, your arms reach out in front of you. I have tight hips, so that doesn't feel too good for me. So I like my legs in a diamond position, elongated diamond. As long as your arms are out on that shelf and you're finding that lift off your hips. Crown of the head leads the way as you roll yourself over your legs and then roll yourself all the way back up. We'll do that again. Lift higher and then dive over the legs and articulate as you roll yourself back up. So this is your spine stretch forward. We'll go for a few, just so that you can really try to find that rippling of the spine up and back. I always like to imagine there's a wall back behind me that I'm peeling away from and returning back to. We'll do one more here, all the way forward, all the way up to stay. If your legs are in a diamond, you extend them out now. Straight legs, feet are flexed, hands come out to a T. So we come into saw. We rotate to the left, pinky finger to pinky toe, pulse it deeper for 3, 2, 1. As you come up, you're still in your rotation. Come through center, we'll go to the right. We pulse for 3, 2, 1, up in rotation, then through center. We go left. 3, 2, 1, center. Good. One last time each way. Finishing towards the left. Come all the way up through center. Hands can lower down by your sides. Bring your legs together so that you can flip yourself around for swan. So tops of the feet press down into the mat, And elbows are right by the ribs so that your fingertips can almost be in line with the shoulders or so. We're just gonna start with setting up the body here. You're pressing your pelvis down into the mat. Notice how the low belly lifts a little bit that way. Good. Small swan to start. We lift the head, neck, and heart up a bit. And then exhale, lower back down. We'll do that again. Lift up and lower. I think I've used this analogy in a video prior, but sometimes imagining that you're rolling a marble away with your nose, and that's what starts the movement. So you create a nice long arc in the back of the neck. We'll go for one more time here. Look up, sternum lifts. This time hold it. Press into your palms to come up into a big swan. And then a long exhale to lower all the way down. We'll go again. Lift up. Sternum comes up. Press down to come up. And exhale, lower all the way back down. We'll go for two more. And lower. Keep pressing the pelvis. Protect the low back. Good. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back into a child's pose or a rest position. Child's pose is a little bit different than rest in Pilates. So rest position is knees together, a deep hollow belly, because our spine was just an extension. So we want to take some flexion to even us all out. Next breath, roll yourself all the way up to sit tall. Come back onto your bum. We've just got a few more pieces here. So extend the legs out onto your mat, flex the feet, reach the hands forward. Roll back. It's almost like you're starting halfway through your roll-ups to come all the way down onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest, send the feet up to the sky. Inhale, flex your feet. Exhale, point. Again, inhale, flex. And point. We are here for two. One last time, hold the point of your feet. You're broadening your arms so that they're a little bit closer to a T than they are a narrow V, so a little bit wider apart here. Tilt your legs over to the left side of the room. Exhale, bring them back through center. Opposite side, we go to the right. And center. So one hip lifts. I would say the most common, not mistake, but thing that I see in class is that when one foot shifts further than the other, and you can watch this happen if you're doing it, if one foot is shifting further than the other, that means that you're leaving a hip behind. So ideally, we get both feet to stay even the entire time, and use the obliques, the sides of the waistline, to pull you back through center. We'll go two more times each direction. Backs of the arms pressing into the floor. This is your final set. When you're finished, come through center, knees to the chest, give them a tight hug. Roll them in one direction and then the other. Okay, let the feet plant down on the floor. They're about sit bone distance apart, hip width or so. Reach the hands overhead. We're resetting the shoulders and then press them all the way back down. We'll do that again. Big wave up and press down. Last time up and press down to stay. Feet, remember your foot centers from the beginning of class. Your foot centers are rooting down. You're curling the pelvis and then peeling the hips all the way up into your bridge and melting yourself all the way back down. Good, we'll do that again. Pelvic curl and peel up, melt it down, bone by bone. We'll keep flowing through this. If you have a difficult time figuring out what a pelvic curl is, imagine that the highest points of your hip bones, like the pointy parts of the front of the hips, that there's headlights there. So when you're laying all the way down on your back, the headlights are pointing up to the ceiling. And when you curl the pelvis, the headlights tilt towards your face. and then you peel the hips up. And then as you melt down, the headlights will return back up to the ceiling. And like I mentioned at the beginning of class, Pilates is about building space in the body. So right now, as you roll yourself back down, I want you to think about the space between each of your bones expanding. So maybe that means you slow down a little bit. Good, we'll do that for 2 more times. Rolling up and melt it back down. Space widens. Last time, take your hips all the way up into your bridge to stay. From shoulders to knees, you're in one straight line. Just a little bit, soften the ribs, and then lift the hips a little higher, just a millimeter or so. We'll do that again. Soften the ribs down, lift the hips up, hold that. You're lifting the heels off the floor and then landing them softly. Good, lift up and press down. For 4, throat and neck stay long and open. Last 2. On 1, keep your heels up. We'll do a little pulse of the hips for 8, 7. It's a very slow and controlled pulse, so lots of time under tension. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your heels and then melt it all the way back down. Beautiful. Extend the legs long onto your mat. Flex the feet, lift the hands. Big exhale, use your roll up to curl all the way over your legs. Pulse forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll your spine up tall and then press the hands all the way down. We're coming into a side lying series for our side kicks. So make your way to the back end of your mat. Your feet come to the front edge so that you're in a bit of a banana shape or like a little break at the hips here. And we're up on the forearm. So a couple of things that like to happen. We like to let go, drop the ribs, drop the shoulders. So push the mat away with your forearm and then lift the ribs up. Good. Release everything down. We'll do that again. Big exhale, gather up. Release the shoulder and ribs. Gather up. So from the top of your pubic bone out through the crown of your head, you're in that long diagonal line. Top hand can stay right out in front of you. Top leg lifts to hip height. Your feet are flexed. Bring that flexed foot forward and then point the foot to sweep it long back behind you. We flex forward. Point, sweep. It's almost as if that leg was gliding on a shelf. When you bring it forward, energy's out through the bottom of the foot, and as you sweep, energy sends out through the toes. We'll do 2 more sweeps here. Back and forward. Sweep long. A flexed foot hovers over your bottom leg. Now is usually a good time to check in with the ribs. Just a few inches, lift that leg higher and back to hip height. We lift up and press. For 3, 2, last time, lower all the way down. Bring the legs in line with the rest of you and lower yourself all the way down onto your bicep. So head is resting on your arm. You're gonna glue it down. You don't wanna lift the head up here. Top hand is just as it was up against the chest in front of you. You're pulling your midline, your legs so tight together. Reach out through the toes. See if you can lift the legs off the floor and then lower them back down. Good, we'll go again. Lift up and lower. Using the waistline to make that movement happen. And I always seem to forget to squeeze my ankles together. So if you're forgetting too, now's your time to realign your midline for 3, for 2. The next time your legs go up, hold it here. Flex the feet and point. We flex and point. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked. Long line for 3, 2. Hold the point, reach further and lower all the way down. Roll yourself onto your belly. Your hands are coming one palm on top of the other, and you can rest your forehead down on your hands. Once you're there, open the legs a little bit, just about as wide as mat width, and turn your heels in towards one another. So they're facing your midline. You're reaching your legs out so that you can hover them off the mat, and then click your heels together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. We'll do that one more time. Lift the legs, click for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. You'll press yourself up. We'll come right onto our other side. So swing yourself around. We'll start with our side kicks. So you're on the back edge of your mat, feet are forward, you're up on the forearm, top hand is right up against. Drop down into the shoulder and the ribs, and then gather everything up. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift and gather. We'll do one more time for good measure. Long line all the way out through the crown of your head. Top leg lifts to hip height. Bring that flex foot forward. Point, sweep it back. We flex the foot forward. Point, sweep back. And if you feel like your upper body sways forward as your leg goes backwards and backwards as your legs come forward, that's just a sign to reduce the range of motion. So ideally, we get the upper body stable in space. Last 2. One more time, big sweep back, hover over your bottom leg, and just a few inches you go higher. And back, lift up, and press. So even though your legs aren't touching here, you're keeping that active midline. Pushing out through the bottoms of both feet for 3, 2. Last time, lower all the way down, swing the legs back so that you can lower down onto your bicep, glue your ear onto your arm. Everything is stacked. Squeeze the midline tight, legs lift, and they lower. We'll do that again. Lift up and down. We'll go for 3 more times using the waistline. For 2. 1 more, hold the lift, flex the feet, and point. We flex and point. For 3, 2, squeeze the midline. Last 1, point the feet and lower all the way down. Roll yourself onto your belly. Hands come underneath your shoulders. And press yourself back into quadruped or tabletop position. Find a long, strong spine. Gather the ribs and the abs up. Tuck your toes under and press the hips up so you're back in your down dog or your up stretch position. Fingertips are spread wide. Lift the heels up and press them down. We lift and press. As your hips lift, you're deepening the hip folds. For 2. On 1, lift the heels up to stay. Shift forward, you're in a high plank, and pike the hips back, lower the heels. Heels go up, we shift forward. Hips pike back, heels lower. You've got it, 1 more, heels up. High plank, pike it back, and lower the heels. Walk your hands to your feet, find your forward fold. Let the head hang heavy for a moment. Maybe give a nod yes, and a shake no. And a very, very gentle pulse down of the spine for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in your forward fold. Take a little bend at the knees, and then straighten them back out. We'll go again, little bend, and straighten. Last 2, One last time, legs go straight, root through your foot centers so that you can unravel to rise all the way up to stand. Once you get there, toes and shoulders lift and press. Inhale, glide up and lower down. Last time, we lower and one big wave up, heavy press all the way down. Thanks so much for class, guys. Sometimes it's nice also just to do a little refresher of the early mat work pieces. So I will see you next time. Enjoy your weekend.